back to Late Night Scrolling, the CanCon podcast where I take all the pop culture headlines and break them down for y'all. This week is all about Canadian television. We have shows ending, we have new seasons starting, we have shows that are finally ready to binge watch, and so much more, including a sit-down interview with the cast of Allegiance, which is at the end of this episode, so make sure to stick around for that. You may notice we're not recording in the studio today, and it's fully because of this snow ice storm that we've been getting. The wind is still whistling here in Halifax. I had to move my whole setup out of the studio to shoot somewhere a little bit less whistly and quiet, and you can probably still hear it. Wind said I'm a guest star on this episode, but let's play a game of A or Nay where I take the biggest Canadian pop culture headlines and A or Nay them. It's like pop or flop, but a little bit more Canadian. Starting up, oh my god, there's a lot to talk about this week. Noah Centineo eating Timbits front row at a Raptors game. What was he even promoting? The Recruit season 2. Here's my problem. Why didn't they send him to a Scepters game? We're all watching the PWHL. It's an A. Next, Jonas Brothers $20 concert in a blizzard. Listen, am I jealous I wasn't there? Absolutely. But Canada gets nothing. They did the pop-up with all the vintage merch. They did the show with $20 t-shirts, $20 tickets, and all the Toronto fans are gonna be in the new Christmas movie. It's an A for me. Next, Kate McRae announced her album tracklist at the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she's going to be on SNL. I'm loving this album rollout. It is so much fun. It is so it girl. Coming off the heels of Brat Summer, I just feel like we're so in the zone to like raise more pop girlies up. By the way, I don't think we as a country ever fully gave credit to exes. That is the Canadian hot girl anthem if I ever heard it. The song literally opens with, oh, I'm sorry that you want me. Opening your single with a big ol' Canada story. Hey, absolutely. Let's talk about SNL 50 for a minute because Canada completely took over that broadcast. We wouldn't have SNL without Canadian comedy, not just because Lorne Michaels is the figurehead of it all, but when you think of how many greats have walked through the doors over the years and how many of them have come from the Canadian comedy scene, to say Canadians have been iconic on SNL is literally the understatement. They've been the backbone. Canada was at the forefront of the special, quite literally, with Martin Short acting alongside, but Steve Martin is kind of the honorary host of the evening. I loved Martin's exit from the show, and when he shook Lauren's hand, that moment just felt like Canada greatness on screen. He was also the father in the latest Domingo sketch, so we can officially say that the Domingo family is CanCon. Of course, we had Ryan Reynolds. Ryan popped up during Tina Fey and Amy Poehler's audience Q&A section with this incredible nod to all the It Ends With Us drama. Honestly, I thought it was the perfect way to acknowledge what's happening. And of all the things they could have done to generate a little bit of goodwill PR, I do think SNL 50 was probably one of the safest choices. Comedy is such a bedrock of who they are and the type of work they try to put out in the world as a couple. Having Ryan kind of acknowledge it in that like, why, what have you heard way, I ate it up. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I thought it was the absolute perfect note. We of course saw Lauren's friends in the Weekend Update segment with that Canadian wear that they were wearing. I mean, I get it. You're trying to be like Canadian stereotype. Well, you nailed it. You nailed it, costume department. And of course, you had lots of Norm Macdonald throughout the show. But the real Canadian win of the night was Mike Myers returning as Linda Richmond. This is not one of the characters I had on my bingo card for the night. I thought the script was perfect. I loved it in the context of Bronx Beat. It was such a treat. The one thing that really shocked me was Ryan Gosling not being there. I don't know if he's shooting something or if he didn't want to go, but especially with Kate McKinnon's Alien sketch, where he was like the iconic break of that sketching character, it felt very odd to not have him return and be in that. Pedro very much did fill the shoes of like the character breaking. My new favorite honorary Canadian, Meryl Streep. Meryl and Martin hard launched their relationship at the SNL 50 concert where they were seated together in the audience and making absolutely no sign of trying to hide their affection for each other. If they become an iconic Muskoka couple, I will lose my mind. Can't you see Meryl on a boat at a cottage? There were lots of other Canadians that were in attendance. Dan Levy was there. I spotted Sandra Oh like in the audience in the back of one of the shots. Seth Rogen was also there. Let me know if there are Canadians that you spotted that I might have missed. Let's get into our Canadian television section of the pod. This is really the time of year where Canadian television is best binged and is back. So let me give you some of the highlights so you can get your watch list sorted for the next few weeks. We have 3 stories about season 3's. 2 shows are back and 1 renewal was just announced. The White Lotus. Oh my God, I am so excited. This is one of my favorite Canadian connected shows. People are always shocked when I say that, but guys, like, this show has always had Canadian connections. We've had Canadian cast throughout the years, and this year, you already know the Canadian cast member that is on this season, and everyone's like, who is she? I don't know her. Yes, you do. You know Charlotte because she made her directorial debut 2023 Falcon Lake. It was nominated for 5 Canadian Screen Awards, and it won the Best First Feature Award that year. And if you've seen Inside Out in French, Miss Joy is voiced by Charlotte in both the Quebec French and French versions of the film. Episode 1 just dropped, and I have to say, of all the characters we were introduced to, I am so excited to figure out who she's playing. Spoiler alert, if you have not watched, skip ahead 30 seconds, okay? A mysterious model walks into the bar. Then you find out she's dating. I'm gonna pull the microphone a little bit away so that those of you in a car or listening on AirPods don't actually die listening to this. She's dating the big bad from seasons 1 and 2. Are you kidding me? I have never stopped hating that man, but I'm excited to see this Canadian baddie take him down. So I hope. And the new theme song, like, we do have to talk about this. That is by a Chilean Canadian composer. I remember at the beginning of season 2 being like, why did they twist the theme song? Why did they change it? And then it grew on me over time. And I'm really hoping to have the same experience with the season 3 theme song, because the beat drop just did not happen, to be frank. I'm still seated week after week. This is going to be one of the most fun watches. To me, there is nothing better than appointment viewing. I love turning on the TV at a certain time and knowing the show has just come on. Like, that is the magic of television that we miss when everything is at our leisure. So yes, HBO, give me my Sunday appointment viewing. Thank you so much. It's thrilling to turn on the Sunday TV show primetime slot to something like The White Lotus. It's so much fun. Another show that's back that y'all need to know is deeply Canadian. Yellowjackets. It's back for season 3. Now, I had a chance to interview Sophie, who plays young Shauna, last January, right before the Canada at the Emmys party. So if you've missed that interview, I'll link it below. It was so much fun talking about some of her iconic red carpet looks from over the years promoting Yellowjackets. I don't know about y'all, but from that trailer, Sophie is playing an unhinged teen Shauna in season 3, which is really saying something because every season of the show is so unhinged. I'm spooked. I'm scared. So many Canadians holding down this show and just absolutely slaying these performances, like giving some of the best television performances of the year. Let me rhyme them off for you. You have Alexa as teen Mari, Sarah playing Callie, you have Kevin playing teen Travis. Like, they all deserve huge careers after the show, but hopefully we're gonna get a lot more Yellowjackets because this season, it's gonna be a wild ride, y'all. And our big renewal show back for season 3, EXO Kitty on Netflix. I just binge watched this whole show when season 2 dropped in January, and guys, it is the cutest high school romance semester abroad vibes. If you don't know this show, this is the spin-off show for the character Kitty, played by Canadian Anna Cathcart, from the series Netflix did To All the Boys I've Loved Before. She was the youngest sister in those movies. She is now the last child in the house and goes on this big journey to an international school in Korea. It's like everything you love about high school romance, but it's also kind of like New Girl, and it's like that perfect scale of like high school fantasy meets realism. I love how it doesn't overdo the whole teens have phones angle. Like, in some high school shows, they really overplay with like social media and texting. This series has always navigated those things really well, and I think specifically in this show, they handle it perfectly. It's the right mix of like people using Instagram to like be an influencer or creep on each other when like they're not speaking, without being like so far in that it's like cringy and hard to watch and takes away from the performances. You're in the mood for like first love romance story, that kind of cheesy high school vibe. This has everything, and Anna is only getting better and better as a lead as the show goes on. And I have to say, having a role that you can grow in, that grows with you, is beyond rare. Like, shows just aren't getting renewed. Shows are not giving cast time to really like sit in their stories and grow and figure out themselves and their characters. And you can see that in EXO Kitty. You can see that in Anna as the show's progressing. I think season 3 is going to be like a breakout moment for the show, for Anna. A good place to start if you're new is checking out her interview on Jimmy Fallon that she did a few weeks ago. Catch up so that you can watch all the behind the scenes unfold as they're shooting season 3. It's gonna be so much fun. I love this one. Oh, and a show that I cannot believe is finally going into its final season, A Handmaid's Tale, on April 8th. Amanda, you gotta stop posting those behind the scenes like photo dubs because it is breaking my heart to see how much is gone into making this last season. I can't believe we're finally at the end of this journey. I feel like The Handmaid's Tale has been such a staple. It has been consistent. It is just, oh, it feels like when Game of Thrones was ended. I can't believe it's gonna be over. But April 8th, here we go. If you're not following Amanda for all the behind the scenes, get on her Instagram at Amanda Brugel. I'm gonna be an emotional wreck watching this one, guys. Coming up in a few weeks, Ghosted on CBC Gem. You guys, this show is the funniest, spookiest show in Canada. Matthew and Luke take you ghost hunting. Season 2, they're taking us across Canada, visiting the most haunted places they can get their hands on, including Nova Scotia. So excited to see what they're up to around here. The guest stars on Ghosting were amazing in season 1, but season 2, oh, they cranked it up. We've got Veronica from What We Do in the Shadows, Joel from Trickster, Percy from Wednesday, Humberly from Ginny and Georgia, Krista from the Hardy Boys, Nikki from Ginny and Georgia, Jordan from Riverdale, and of course, Priyanka from Drag Race. If unscripted paranormal comedy is your thing, then this show is going to be your favorite watch of the year. Now, I can't tell you guys much because I'm under embargo, but I will say one of my favorite interviews I've shot with Luke and Matthew is coming to you very soon. They're so much fun. We had such a blast talking about this season. It will be on the pod in the coming weeks. Get some friends, make a binge watch out of it, get some spooky snacks, put back up your Halloween decor, and get ready. That's all I can say. So moving along. Oh, I forgot. We have such sad. This is horrible. Diesel from Hudson and Rex passed away while shooting season 7 of the show. This dog was every Canadian's favorite dog. So People Magazine got the exclusive in. This is what it says. Sherry Davis, executive producer and lead dog trainer on Hudson and Rex, confirmed to People that Diesel died during production of season 7. Several dogs have taken over the role of Rex, including Diesel's German Shepherd nephews. I had a chance to talk with Sherry and Diesel at the Canadian Screen Awards last year, so I'm going to insert that clip here. Tell me more about how you feel about that. Oh, well said. Well said. So good to meet you. So good to meet you. You do a good interview. Best interview of the night. This is the biggest celebrity on the red carpet tonight by a landslide.
Don't tell anybody.
How cool is it to be at the Canadian Screen Awards and representing what you do?
You know what? It's a real honor, to be honest. I think he's the first dog to be here. He is an actor, so, you know, he's just got 4 legs. But, yeah, it's an honor to be here and represent the animals in film. Yeah. And, of course, our show, Hudson and Rex, which...
An incredible show. So great. Yeah.
It's a real honor.
I have seen celebrities on the red carpet less well-behaved than this dog. When you're watching the new season, if it seems like the dog is different, it's because the dog is different. Let's have some grace for the cast and for everyone adjusting. One of my favorite shows back for season 2 is Allegiance. The first episode of season 2 was shocking, to say the least. It was literally the last thing that I expected to see. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but when I went in to interview the cast, we had to talk about it. But I did have a chance to talk to the cast about questions I've always had about shooting the show. Just getting to know how they're feeling about going into the second season of one of the biggest shows on Canadian television. So without further ado, enjoy this conversation with the cast of Allegiance.
All us, the 3 Mikes.
Cheers.
One for all and all for one.
I loved season 1. Like, I was a big fan watching it every week on CBC. And then when I saw episode 1 of season 2, gagged. Like, I could not believe what happened at the end of episode 1. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a big...
So I don't want to spoil it for everyone because they're going to have to watch it for themselves and see. But what was your reaction to that script? And then for you coming into the show, what was your reaction to how the season is starting?
I thought it was like, whoa, way to start off with a bang. You know what I mean? I have to be very conscious of what I say, so I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah. And then just watching some of the actual episode and like how, I mean, maybe gory is the wrong word, but I'm just like, oh, it's just like, damn, it's tough, especially. That's all I'm gonna say because I think I'm gonna spoil.
Yeah, without giving it away,
Yeah,
it'll be tough.
Yeah.
But it was sad.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. How do you... Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was quite shocked.
Yeah.
It was a real shocker, and I think we're such a family on this show, Liz. We really are, like, from the cast and crew, and so I think when I read it, I wasn't sure if it was a draft, because we get, multiple, I wasn't sure if it was going to change.
Yeah, if it was going to make it. But, yeah.
And it just stayed the same, and, we moved on. Everyone outside of the show stuck together.
Yeah.
But it was a big loss. Huge loss.
Yeah.
Huge loss.
It's a bold beginning to what I imagine is going to be a fully bold season. But then we go into episode 2, which is also shocking in a different way, with a new dynamic happening here, kind of a new partner, season 1 partnership happening still a little bit. What was it like navigating a new dynamic in the show for your character, who's already got so much that she's taking on, and then for you seeing your partner have other people come into the working dynamic?
They know how I feel about it. Go on. You come up with your fake answers. Go ahead.
We love you, Rico.
You know what? Here's what I will say was similar, is Rico and I have great chemistry. We like each other as humans. And so acting together was really easy, to the point that sometimes we had to...
Oh my God, to the point...
Yeah, to the point we had to... We were so close as people, we would have to pull and be like, oh my God, they don't know each other that well. They're still colleagues. They're not best friends, which is what we are when we're not shooting.
Right.
And we had a similar dynamic as well, where, there's supposed to be this... I mean, for Sabrina, it's like Sabrina sees... Zach very... Actually, you know what? There are similarities, because I learned a lot working with Samer. Samer is such a confident actor and person that some of it, thankfully, has just rubbed off on me just by watching how he carries himself, which is with so much power and grace on set. And so I learned a lot, and I think that Sabrina, also watching him and him coming in as her new partner, I think is smart enough to go, okay, what can I learn from this person who has a lot more experience than I do? So those things we had in tandem. But then also Samer and I were just really good friends right off the bat. And there had to be times to be like, oh, there needs to be more discord between these two that's not there with us.
Yeah, we got comfortable really quickly. And I'm like, I don't know if Sabrina and Zach would have gotten that comfortable that quickly, or even just in physicality. There's an episode where I have my arm around Supinder. You remember in the park?
Yeah.
And I'm literally just because me and Supinder are very we're very chummy, and I'm like, yeah, this works for the scene, whatever. And it was Supinder was like, I don't know. And I'm like,
I was like, I think it should be more awkward.
Yeah. I'm just like, meh. No, yeah. I think they're here. And Supinder's like, no, I don't think they are. I'm like, you're right, they're not. So
that's so funny. It feels like the opposite problem that you sometimes have on set, where you're trying to warm up to the people you're working with to build that relationship. You guys had the opposite way of working.
Too warm.
Too warm. Back off.
Too much love. Yeah, exactly.
Too much love on set. We need to get colder around here.
Yeah.
You all have worked in such incredible projects. I loved Humane. I thought that was such a fascinating role for you. English Teacher as well. For each of you, if you could partner up with a character from either a show you have been on or from someone else's show that they've been on, who would you want to partner up with?
Well, I mean, the principal that Rico plays in The English Teacher, he's so good. I would partner with that guy.
I could partner with him.
Yeah, I'd have to steal that answer as well.
Yeah.
No one's going to The Boys? No one's heading that way?
The Boys, I mean...
You don't want to partner with anybody in
From The Boys? I mean, they're all pretty interesting characters, but I mean, it's
reliability is maybe not what they're known for.
Yeah, exactly. Not so much. I mean, they've got superpowers, so that's also a plus. So maybe Homelander for sure. Actually, it's whatever you want, just boom. But you never know if he might turn around and fucking chop your head off.
It's true. Make some of those investigations a little bit easier.
Exactly. They're a little shady, those guys.
Now I gotta watch The Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in it for a flash.
And that other thing you won a Canadian Screen Award for.
Yeah, you gotta watch that one.
I gotta watch that one too.
Yeah.
There's so much
I know there's
so much to watch.
Yeah.
What are you watching right now that's really good? In general, do you watch anything? What is Enrico?
I am watching something. I'm watching Say Nothing.
Say Nothing. Oh, what is that?
It's based on a book about the IRA.
Ooh,
and
juicy,
it's on
juicy.
Disney Plus.
Juicy.
And it's just like it's juicy.
Sweet.
But
I'll
it's like,
check it out.
But I love watching shows where I don't recognize anybody.
Yeah.
That's the best. Is it an English show?
Yeah, it is. It's
This
Irish.
Is the thing.
They're
It's like,
Irish actors,
I
and it's
love
just like
also
I don't
like
know
all
these
cinema
people.
from the UK because there's.
Yeah.
I mean, they may be stars and I just don't know about them.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have Brad Pitt playing a police
Yeah,
chief. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Then I'm, you know, Brad Pitt's a phenomenal actor, or Kate Winslet, or whatever. I love all these actors. But you watch like Happy Valley. I watched a show called
Happy Valley's amazing.
and I'm just like, and also I think British television uses actors who look like real human beings.
Yeah.
Not everyone is so polished.
Yeah.
You know.
I think
So-
Canadian television does that a little bit too, and I
What are
always
you
tell
saying?
I always tell my American friends, like, when they do their top TV shows of the year, we're filming in December, so we're all doing New Year's resolution-y kind of stuff right now. But they're all doing these roundups about the best shows of the year, and they don't include Canadian television. And I'm like, some of the best TV is being shot in Canada and being made here too. So that's my pitch. Is like Canadian TV's got it too.
It's less airbrushed.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little bit
Feels
easier
more
to,
real.
Well, you can get invested and lost in the stories because don't get me wrong, it's a business. Hollywood's a business, whatever. But you're not looking at this person and thinking about like the 30 posts they had on. I'm just gonna talk.
Yeah.
The 30 posts they had on Instagram. Like there's a division between the person as a human being and the performance when you look at like British television, but sometimes it gets conflated when you're like watching Hollywood movies. You're like, I can't unsee the tabloid that you were just in.
Yeah, for real. Okay, one experience that you have on the show that I really want to know more about is all the scenes where you're driving. There's so many scenes that take place in the car, and
You guys got to be in the actual car in the first episode.
Oh yeah, we
okay,
did.
that-
Yeah, we got to shoot
I
in
like
the car.
Pardes.
Yeah.
Except
And
sometimes
we
I
have to
forget
be,
that we're mics.
yeah, we have to be really careful because you know this too. When we were in the car, it feels like you're alone.
But you're not because there's a whole.
They're listening.
Okay,
They're
walk me through
listening.
that. What do you mean it feels like you're alone when
Well,
you're
because
in?
you are alone.
We're in the car, just the two of us. But there's cameras in the car or outside the car, and we're mic'd. So even though it feels like Supinder and I are having a very
Intimate conversation that you wouldn't
conversation,
have in a car.
there's probably like 40 people listening to what we're talking about.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Even
God.
if we're whispering because
Yeah.
the mics are really.
But you know what? Namisha was really good. Namisha Mukherjee, who's one of our producers, was really good with that, I think, because sometimes, like, Samer and I would be having a conversation, and then Namisha would be like, yeah, me too. And you would be on
have a walkie in there.
the walkie and be like, oh, yeah, okay,
Not
everybody's
just us.
here.
And
It's
you
not
forget,
just
even
us.
it's so funny. So
That's
there was,
awesome.
I got paranoid. Not that I was,
Okay.
not that I was talking about anything like crazy, but to the point where I'm like, even the sound guy came up to me afterwards. He's like, "Samer, I heard you had a question about whether or not we turn off the mics in between takes," and he goes, "Yeah, we turned them down." And then I'm like, "I'm unplugging this thing." So if I had to like talk, I had to have a phone conversation or even about nothing serious. But you don't want people to know all your life business.
The one thing is though, I trust the sound guys with my secrets.
Oh, I'm not worried. If like it's not. This is the thing. If it's two people, sure. But if literally all anybody has to do is this. Put the headphones back
no, I
on.
know.
And there's literally like 100 people on set with access to your.
Yeah. That's so
You know?
Guys, we
funny.
don't have any secrets. I mean,
But you really tell. I mean, just to get back to what you said, it's like they're rich. The scenes are richer because all last season we were like with the jib arm and stuff.
Yeah.
We were driving. You saw the city. Now we're doing poor man process. With the.
with the and it's different. And it's different.
I mean, time wise and efficient, it's much more efficient. But you lose.
yeah.
You lose the
grit, the real.
expansiveness of the city.
Like, remember you and I had that scene last year in the car where we're talking about why Vince Bremville is still a police officer.
Yeah.
And we had that. It's a little bit of a fight between the two.
Yeah.
And when we did it, I can't remember if Ian and Craig were in the back
Yeah.
shooting or if they weren't. But it was just like it felt like we were alone when we were shooting those scenes.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you're in the studio shooting them, you never forget that there are other people around. Whereas when you're actually driving,
Because you really have to drive.
because you really have to drive.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who's the best driver of the three of you?
I've never seen Rico drive. So
Oh, actually, Rico, from the gentleman that runs our stunt car got the best compliment because he went up to Rico after Rico drove the vehicle, and he said, "You're a fantastic actor." And Rico said, "I don't think that guy's ever seen me act. He's just seen me drive."
He's just happy that I didn't drive into the arm that's following us, right?
Yeah.
Because I guess some actors he's worked with,
Oh shit. Yeah.
lines and driving and making sure that you're within a safe
Yeah.
distance.
Yeah, and not hitting
Yeah.
pedestrians, and because the rest of the
All
rest
that
of,
stuff,
it's not
right?
locked up. The street
So-
is the street, so you're like,
So he's seen enough to single me out and say, "Oh, you're a great actor."
And I will also say, Liz, that when you're behind that vehicle, like when you're behind the wheel, you wield a lot of power because it's not
Oh,
a real cop
how many
car.
times?
I know. I was like, Rico, do it.
How many times?
Do it. Turn the lights on. Turn the light when we're just driving back for no reason.
Oh, my
and,
God.
And you know what? And so Rico might be the best driver because he has the most willpower because he never turned those lights on.
That's
Because so many
amazing.
people would cut us off. It's just like,
Yeah, who cuts off a cop car?
it's like nobody.
And
Yeah.
then they see their favorite principal pulling them over, and they're
Right.
like, "What
they go,
happened
"Hey, wait a
here?"
What's
minute. I
happening
went to
here?"
school with you, didn't I? That's
Yeah.
what I get.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate. Oh, right on the
Wow.
money with the
Wow.
timer.
Well
done, Liz.
Wow, thank you
Damn.
guys. I'm so excited for season 2.
Good to meet you, Liz.
Yeah,
Good to
meet
see
you
you.
So nice
guys.
to meet you, Liz.